Okay, so my search for finding out what I'm about to speak about and doing the research for what I'm about to speak about stemmed from a comment section conversation. I'm not going to name the person, I'm not going to detail it, but, they made a public comment, so I doubt that they would be, upset behind it. Of course, y'all know I've done this in the past anyway, but it was a comment relative to a Pisces not being the ideal mate for another Pisces. So it's Pisces really putting Pisces out there. The Pisces woman putting a Pisces man out there and say, look, this Pisces man is not strong enough for me because we're in fantasy land when it comes to each other. We don't want to be real with each other. So she relied on other men to, how did she put it? What word did she use? To help her with her situations, I guess. I'm going to say it like that. I don't know if they were problems, bills, and I don't want to butcher that, but whatever her situations were and her dreams, goals, and aspirations were, she depended on other men outside of her immediate relationship with this Pisces man to bring those things into fruition. So, she cheated on him. He cheated on her. He told her about it, though, so Pisces, right? Yeah, it's not serious. I just fucked it once, some shit like that. But, this happened, and I'm like, people were assisting her, like, yeah, get yourself a Scorpio, get yourself a Virgo, get yourself a Leo. Those are the signs that I picked up on at first, right? So I'm just in my mind, I'm just like, damn, I've heard this story before. I'm not butthurt, you know what I'm saying? I've heard this story before, and I don't think some people understand some things about Pisces still. As many Pisces videos as I did, because not for nothing, another comment that came through not too long afterwards was stating that how Pisces doesn't want to take accountability and playing the victim and this, that, and third, instead of, handling their responsibilities, whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, look, a Pisces has to take accountability. And when doing so, they have to take accountability for every sign, because they were saying Pisces doesn't take accountability for their sign. Pisces has to take accountability for every sign. And I think that's what other signs don't understand about us. We are the sum of all parts. So it's like, we can't denounce none of y'all. We can't say, like, people, we can't say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that. We could say we don't like situations, but we can't denounce a whole sign because it's part of us. At any snap of a finger, any drop of a hat, it's a part of us, right? So I'm like, all right. So I start searching around for videos and stuff like that. I come across these time travel videos. And the reason why I compare time travel with Pisces is because of the ability to dream, because of my experiences, right? I dream, I time travel. I've done it. All right. I have done it. And I know it's like probably the most hardest thing to ever prove. And I'm cool with that. I'm telling you, I've done it though. So I associate dream, and of course, if you look at astrology, you're going to associate dreaming, sleeping with Pisces regardless. Right. So this is why I tie it into time travel and different dimensions and stuff like that. So in the waking state, to tie everybody into different dimensions is an Aquarius aspect. All right. Because it's the connectivity of the brains, which is called the collective consciousness. But in order to be conscious, you have to be awake in the waking state. When you're subconscious, you're dreaming, and that's Pisces realm. Right. OK, follow me so far. So that's where the time travel takes place for me. I can't fully confirm that I'm time traveling in a waking state. Not as of yet. I got a little hint, a little glimpse of it, but I'm more experienced in the subconscious realm of time traveling. So I'm watching these videos on time traveling. These experts, they're scientists. They got all these degrees. They go to the biggest schools. Some of them even out here. I want to say their names. I just don't have them on hand right now. I didn't do all of that. So they're talking about time travel. They're talking about, and this isn't the first time I've watched these videos. Of course, I've come across them before. But Scorpio season, I'm deep into the research right now. I'm deep into studying the mind. So I'm into these videos, and I always hear them talk about looking outside of themselves to travel through time. They down there messing with CERN, and they want to make these hadron colliders. I think I said that right. And they trying to create these black holes. They want to actually do it like they see it in the Stargate movies, where the portal opens up, they walk through it. Now you hear these physicists talk about it. They talk about these wormholes and these stargates, and they're like, if we tried to do it, it'll suck you right back into the point where it'll destroy you, where it'll collapse on itself and it'll kill you, right? So it's just like, I'm overhearing these stories. I keep hearing these stories. A lot of them are similar, and I'm like, Why do y'all keep looking outside of yourselves to travel through time? Why don't y'all look at yourselves and inside and look at your own body as the time traveling machine? How you don't see yourself as a time machine? And I'm just asking myself, like, am I the only person that understands this? Now, I know I'm not, because I've read literature about the shamans and how they would do this. Even the movie Jumper kind of like ties into it somewhat, but he's in awakened state when he's doing this stuff. So, that's the part of the movies that kind of gets me off too. So I got to bring it back to me, right? And I'm just like, okay, I don't know how to do it at will. So let's say I want to go to 1942. I can't just, and I'm not saying I can't, but I haven't just focused on 1942, and then went to sleep and time traveled to 1942. However, I can say my astral projections and dimension jumping have occurred from focusing on one particular thing or one particular person, then going into sleep and then doing it. I've watched the videos of where the military was doing this, their project. Damn, I could have came better prepared for this, right, yo? But there was a an operation that the CIA and the military went on, and was declassified for a lot of time. I mean, it was classified for a lot of time, and then they stopped supporting it. They wouldn't support it anymore, but it had to deal with remote viewing, like these special people with gifts. They would put these people like in underground bases and stuff like that, and like ask them to zero in and find out information otherworldly that no one else can find out about, like clairvoyant stuff and stuff like that, do remote viewing and things of that nature. And they were doing it, like they were finding out real stuff, like overseas people, other militaries hiding artillery and weapons and bunkers and stuff like that, like real spy, like deep spy work, right? And I'm like, that's more along the lines of what I'm talking about. That's how it's done right there. Like, that's how you tap in. You got to go into the subconscious mind and leap. It's like when I was remote viewing, I seen through someone's eyes that I know personally. I seen them eat a sandwich. I was basically borrowing both of their eyes, watching them eat a sandwich. I couldn't taste it and stuff like that, but it was a turkey sandwich. I know what it looked like and everything. I know where they were. I know where they sit. I know where they work at. I used to work there. You know what I'm saying? So these things are amazing to me. And the reason why I piggyback with this video off of the whole Saturn thing is because in these time travel videos, they always talk about Einstein's theory and how he proved that, gravity was a curvature, a pull when big masses, which are planets, make space curve and they bend the space fabric, that's what accelerates the speed, slow down the speed of travel and things of that nature, right? So when he made that point, instead of time traveling in one forward arrow, he said, he basically proved that this is not true. You can actually accelerate time, because something to the effect of, if you put a clock on a moving airplane or a jet carrier, then you'll see that when it comes back to Earth, it would have traveled more faster than people who are still residing on Earth, right? So I said, okay, if we're utilizing planets as this description, let's talk about a Saturn return, right? It takes 28 years for Saturn to return. So in Saturn years, you would be 1 year old, but in Sun years, you'd be 28 years old, right? Now, these are massive bodies that create curvature, that bend space-time, that bends the fabric of space, right? Which alters the acceleration, the time of speed, which basically is relative to travel, right? So if you start counting your years in Saturn years, a lot of us are only 1 year old, right? We're going to be 2 years old soon. So if we begin to look at life in this type of way, then we can start understanding how we are able to time travel as well, should you apply the mechanics of each planet. Now, Saturn is a transitional planet. Personal planets such as Mars, Mercury, Sun, Moon, celestial bodies, Venus, we feel these more, we're impacted by these more the other planets become more subtle the further that they get away, until they make this big transition. It's like boom, it's like, oh, Pluto did that. Far the fuck out there, Pluto did that shit, right? But these personal planets seem to influence us so quickly that we're tugged by our impulses or our ego more than we are by Saturn doing the hard work, refraining, taking time outs, waiting for things to grow, when we're in a society that is largely based on sun worship. So it's like, we got to get it right now. We got to get it right now. Inflation. We got to get it right now. We got to get it right now. Bills. Every 30 days, you know what I'm saying? Every 30 days, the sun moves through a sign, right? Every 30 days, the bill collectors come. So that model is preventing a lot of people from being able to move on a Saturn accord, or move on a Uranus accord, or even move on a Venus accord. You know, maybe people are skipping over even some of the personal planet mechanics because maybe they're just so egotistical. Maybe they're just, pulled by the moon. Maybe they're Cancers, or they're pulled by the moon so much that they overlook these things, right? But if we were to start looking at things that way, we can start understanding how to time travel ourselves. So I'll give you an example of one time when I time traveled. Something occurred, right? This is one of the dreams that I had, and I time traveled, and it happened I'd say within the same year, if not within the next 2 years. I got it recorded with the date on it somewhere in my dream journal, but I'm telling you, this is one of the dreams that stood out to me because it happened so quickly. And I'm like, So it made me study what was the trigger that made that occur so quick in comparison to the other time traveling dreams that I had that either took longer to occur in the waking state. And some of these time traveling dreams that I've had actually went to like the past, actually went to the future, but did not happen in the waking state. However, I know that these travels impacted what happened in the waking state. You get what I'm saying? But let's get back to the one that happened in the waking state as well. The thing that triggered this and made this occur so quickly, in my belief, because of my behavior, was anger. I utilized anger when conversing with someone, and that made them, or should I say, the meeting between us accelerate. It made it happen quicker, and the next thing you know, boom, it happened down to the letter, like down to the exact. And when it was happening, I was mind blown to the point where I'm looking around my apartment and I'm like, yo, everything has to be the same. To the last second before this person came upstairs, I actually altered something that wasn't the same as the dream right before they got there. And the dream took place the same way that I seen it, the same exact way that it happened. So one thing I noticed about the results of this dream and how it occurred in a waking state is I was unfulfilled. I think both parties probably were, to be honest, but I'm just telling you my point of view from it. This person doesn't even know that this happened. You know what I'm saying? Might tell them one day, maybe, I don't know. But I was unfulfilled. I was unprepared. The situation, the scenario, it was premature. It was premature. And this is why I think I'm on to something when speaking about personal planets, because it was rushed. Anger was utilized. The person was actually enthused by the anger because it showed that I cared. You know what I'm saying? I can be very nonchalant. I can behave like I don't care about shit, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So to see me behave in that type of manner excited them and enthused them to the point where they was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna deliver because he's that interested. You know what I mean? So it was one of those. However, the experience was lackluster. It wasn't potent. And I'm looking for potent experiences because of the number of laps around the sun that I've had now. You know, I just want more potent experiences. So you would think that now, or I think this is what my theory is, that the more I wait and hold out for certain experiences, it's more on a Saturn or Pluto or Uranus or even Neptune dial of time travel. Now you can check these planets out for yourself and see how long it takes for them to orbit. And you got to be like, guy, are you kidding me? Like, you might be 50, 60 years old. And I'm like, no, I'm not kidding you. I'm willing to put in that type of work, should it be. Because these dreams that I be having when I be time traveling and all that, listen, You ever heard the saying worth the wait? All right, I'm going to let y'all go with that for now anyway. We can always get back on topic. I'm out.